Lord Lucan, Part 2. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. People mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. Lord Lucan left the home in 1972, consequenting a sour custody battle. This launched Lord Lucan's tendency to spy on Lady Lucan. His car was seen regularly parked outside their street. He hired private investigators to follow his family and even went as far as consulting with doctors. He would record their telephone conversations with a small Sony tape recorder. Lord Lucan started abusing his family financially by withholding funds and even canceling their scheduled grocery orders. Friends reported he had drunkenly told them about how killing his wife would save him from filing bankruptcy. The custody battle, gambling, private investigators, doctors, solicitors, or lawyers as we call them, and a lavish lifestyle caused colossal amounts of financial strain, steering him to borrow money from banks, friends, and family. The last amount of money lent to him by a friend was just 3 days before the murder. The Crown Court awarded Lady Lucan custody of the children on the condition she hire a live-in nanny. In 1974, she hired 29-year-old Sandra Rivet for that position. Just 9 weeks go by when she is found dead in their basement. Sandra Eleanor Rivet was born on September 16, 1945, to Eunice and Albert Hensby. They lived in Australia when Sandra was a baby and moved back to England in 1955. Sarah worked as a hairstylist assistant, convalescent home assistant, nanny, and secretary. A bad breakup drove her to a mental hospital. She gave birth to a boy named Stephen on March 13, 1964, and he was adopted by her parents on May of 1965. Sandra moved to Portsmouth, England, to live with her sister, and that's where she met Roger Rivet. They were married on June 10, 1967. Roger served in the British Navy and later worked as a freight truck loader. They were separated in May of 1974 when Roger suspected Sandra of cheating. She spoke to her boyfriend, John Hankins, at 8 p.m. on November 7, 1974. They would normally go out on Thursday nights as it was her usual day off, but this week had changed it to Wednesday off instead. Most everything we know about this case truly comes from Lady Lucan's witness statement. With his kids with their mom, Lord Lucan would run wild. He partied, drank, and gambled often until the casinos closed at 4 in the morning and would normally rise at around noon and do it all over again. He broke this routine, however, on November 7, 1974, when he spoke to his lawyer, at around 10:30 a.m. and planned a 3 p.m. restaurant meeting. However, he failed to show up to his 1 p.m. previously scheduled bank appointment and the 3 p.m. meeting. At 4 p.m., he calls a pharmacy for help identifying a pill. The pill turned out to be Limbitrol, an anxiety medication. At 7 p.m., he met a friend and they convened about gambling strategies. Lucan drove home at 8 p.m., not in his usual Mercedes-Benz or Aston Martin, but in a dingy Ford Corsair. This car. And he fails to show up to another meeting with his lawyer at 11 p.m. On November 7, 1974, at around 9 p.m., after Sandra had tucked the children into their beds, she asked Lady Lucan if she would like a cup of tea before she went down to make some herself in the downstairs basement kitchen. Lady Lucan noticed Sandra was taking a while for the cuppa, so around 9:15 p.m. she headed down to find Sandra at the top of the basement stairs, dead. Lady Lucan heard someone say, "Shut up," and Lady Lucan recognized the voice to belong to Lord Lucan. He began attacking her, and she managed to get away by squeezing his family jewels. Lady Lucan needed to think quickly, so she darted into the safe haven of their local bar and cried for help. She was covered in blood from head to toe and was taken by ambulance to the hospital. Lord Lucan calls his mom at around 11 p.m. and asks her to pick up the kids from Belgrave Street because a terrible catastrophe had occurred, further explaining that he happened to drive past his wife's house when he saw her being attacked by an unknown man in the basement. Upon arrival, authorities noticed no sign of forced entry. A blood-stained towel was on the floor of the first floor bedroom. The top of the staircase was blood-stained. A bloody lead pipe was found. Pictures hanging on the wall had been disturbed, and the stairwell rail was also damaged. Sandra's body was found in a duffel bag. Detectives noticed the light on the bottom of the stairs was missing a bulb and what looked like to be the replacement bulb on a chair nearby. Upon searching Lord Lucan's separate residence nearby, police found his wallet, car keys, money, driver's license, passport, and glasses. His blue Mercedes was parked outside his home with a flat battery. Although she was increasingly sedated at the hospital, Lady Lucan was able to tell police her account of what occurred. Her account that she found her nanny dead in the basement and her husband admitted to killing her by mistake. A guard was at her bedside should her attacker decide to return and fix his error.